Talking about Dk Yoo versus Bradley Scott, and you know the whole thing leading up to the fight, and the aftermath because the fight already happened. I already saw it, and this is what I think, because a lot of people are, well, not a lot of people, certain segment of the population of the world, a very small segment in my opinion, are going off on my boy Dk Yoo. And this is what I gotta say. First of all, he's not a real fighter, right? It's obvious by what we saw yesterday. Because right now, when I'm making this recording, this fight happened yesterday. That he's not a real fighter. But, I saw some things in there that were mimicking real stuff, right? But there's a difference between knowing and mimicking and actually, actually practicing daily, man. Because that's really the difference between traditional martial arts and modern day martial arts. Right? The only difference is that one of them, goes and does practical stuff. That not practical stuff. I shouldn't say that. Not practical stuff. How can I say this? One of them practices their stuff more than the other against live reacting opponents, and the other ones don't. The other ones tend to go through theory. They tend to maybe do some soft drills, and maybe they do some slight sparring with the opponents that don't want to hit each other, stuff like that. But this is, at the end of the day, not going to make you a better fighter. Maybe it'll make you maybe a better athlete, because your cardio is going to go up. But as far as a fighter goes, it will not make you a better fighter for you to, go through your katas every day, or do a bunch of kicks every day. You have to do the sparring. You have to do it. Because I'm not gonna be too hard on Dk Yoo. I think, really, you can't really go that hard on him. You can if you want to. I saw the fight. He didn't show me that he was a real fighter, but he also didn't show me that he wasn't capable of being a good fighter. Why? Because he was very slippery. He was very hard to hit. And he landed a couple of shots, and most of all, he survived the fight, which he wasn't supposed to do, in my opinion. He is not a real fighter, and Bradley Scott should have killed them in like 2 or 3 rounds. The fact that it went as far as, I think it was 5, I forgot how many rounds, I think it's 5 rounds. The fact that it went as far as it did, to me, is amazing. Now, what did I see from Dk Yoo? Is that his name? Dk Yoo? Yeah. That's a weird name, but anyways, Dk Yoo, what I saw from him was that if he was to train, which, by the way, he's 40, dude. That's crazy. He's 40 years old. If he was to start training, he could be a good boxer. But, to start training at 40, that's crazy to me. But, he just didn't do it. He should have started at least 30, since he was, like, around at that time. Yo, man, like, some of the stuff he was doing in there didn't even look like boxing or martial arts or anything. None of the stuff he taught, he did, which is crazy to me, because I was like, he's gonna do something. And I'm not even talking about the 1-inch or 0-inch punch, because that's not the 1-inch punch and the 0-inch punch, or whatever you call it. That's not something that, I mean, you could do within a fight, but it's not something that you're going to recognize in a fight. You know what I mean? It's the 1 inch punch is really what it is. It's a it's almost like a trick, right? Like a optical illusion, but it's meant to teach you something. It's meant to teach you, one, not to load your punches, two, to use body mechanics well, and three, to to do proper stance within a fight. That's what this punch was meant to do. It's meant to teach that with this movement. Now, I'm pretty sure Bruce Lee used to do that. I don't know if DK Yoo does that. From what I hear his seminars, he's more about speed under relaxation, which is I'm big at in that too. I like to practice speed under relaxation because that's the best speed. Speed under tension is stupid. It's mainly what I see a lot of boxers doing is speed under tension. Not a lot of them, but like for example, Ryan Garcia. He's one of them who does speed under tension. What I mean by that is that he tenses up when he's doing speed. Not the drug, like like what I mean is, like, people think that to be fast you have to tense up and then throw the punch really fast and then throw the punch really fast. Like those kind of movements like that. But the thing is, speed under relaxation is better because you stay relaxed and you just do the movement, and it comes out, with more of a flow. And I don't understand DK Yoo's language very well. I think he's Korean. Yeah, he is Korean, and his language is, hard to understand. And also, I'm a very slow reader, so when I read the stuff, I catch some of it. I don't catch a lot of it. But from what I can hear, that's what he's mainly focused on speed under relaxation. He talks a lot about tension, controlling your tension. Because a lot of fighters, a lot of people who start boxing, they think tension means power, but that definitely does not mean that. And you could see it when you train a lot of people. You hold the pads for them. You see them tense when they're hitting the pads. They go and they go right, and you're like you feel the tension within the fight, within the punches, and you try to tell them, don't worry too much about power. Just go through the motions, go through the technique. Don't worry too much about being fast. Just go through the motions, go through the technique that we're teaching you. Don't tense up, right? That's what we're trying to tell them. But DK Yoo is much more, I believe he's much more better at explaining it, I guess. He has a bigger following and stuff like that. And I think, that was part of the problem. He started getting a lot of haters and he started to get a lot of people that fans and stuff like that around the world. And one of his interviews got him in trouble because he said that he could beat up any MMA fighter and stuff like that. Nobody said anything except for two guys. One of them was a Chinese martial artist who is famous for beating up traditional martial artists for some reason. I think that's not good. It sounds bad just by hearing it. Guy who just beats up traditional martial arts for a living. Not cool, man. Sounds like a bully to me, but I mean, maybe he has his own reasons or whatever. So his whole thing fell off because he wasn't able to get a passport to make it to Korea or whatever. And so that fell off, and now he ended up fighting who we know, Bradley Scott. And at the beginning some people said that they were racist, that's why they didn't like DK Yoo. And then they did it live on his show, and they said, no, we're not racist or whatever. The Fight Bible, I kind of followed them a little bit, but I don't like that they try to tell people what's real and what's not real. In my opinion, taking sides like that, I don't do it too much because I've seen traditional martial arts work within a fight, on YouTube, of course, but it's still against resistant opponents. It's still against people that know how to fight. And I'll try to link it below. But this whole notion that traditional martial arts is not practical, whatever, is stupid. You gotta understand, because a lot of the martial arts that are shitted on are like Aikido is one of them, right? Krav Maga is another one. Which other one is shitted on? And it was by the MMA community mainly. And it's good to challenge each other like that, challenge. But the thing is, it's better to keep an open mind, in my opinion, and to know that every martial arts has their strengths and has their weaknesses. This is the only way that you're going to be able to grow. Once you start saying like, "Oh, Western martial arts is better," because that's actually what they said in the interview. The interview isn't up anymore, but so first of all, there was a rumor. I think Dk Yoo said that, these guys were racist. That's why they hated him, because they hate all Asians or whatever. And I didn't hear that interview, but later on, I don't know the other guy's name, and Bradley Scott and the other guy that's following him around everywhere. They made an interview saying, "Oh, we're not racist. We have a lot of Asian friends. This and that and the other. We just want to beat this guy up because he's so cocky. This is that and the other," which they are cocky too. But everybody's got their own ego. So, anyways, so I was like, they're not racist, right? Well, they say they have a weigh-in, which, by the way, they don't have the whole weigh-in on there anymore. They deleted it, but they have a weigh-in, and during the weigh-in, they ask Bradley Scott's friend, whatever his name is, why did you challenge Dk Yoo and whatever? And then he said, because there's been, I think he said 100 years, or 1,000 years of ignorance, of people thinking that Eastern martial arts is superior, but it's time to smash that belief or whatever. And I was like, what? It's something like, it's verbatim what I'm saying. I'm quoting verbatim. I don't remember exactly what he said, but basically he was saying that Western martial arts is better, and that if you want to fight, you go West, something like that. That has very racial undertones, in my opinion. Now, the interview isn't up right now. Maybe you could go look for it somewhere else, but it's not on YouTube. I've looked for it already. I can't find it. They have the weigh-in, but they only have the last part after the interviews, both sides talked, and they weighed it, and they weighed each other, and they were backstage or whatever. But that part was cut off. It's not there no more. And in my opinion, it's a very ignorant statement. Not only is it ignorant, but it has a racial undertones. And this came from a guy who is an anti-vaxxer. So, I mean, listen, if a person doesn't know how to throw a jab, most likely, you know that he's not trained. What I'm trying to say by this is, when a person is an anti-vaxxer, you kind of know where he's coming from, and then he said that, and then now he's an anti-vaxxer, so it's like, you're not looking to, you kind of limping there. I might have to catch you with a sweep. But anyways, but that's that. Some people are ignorant, some people don't know. They can't see outside their own little box, and that's just the way it is, man. The thing about it is that fighting has been international for a long time, and whatever the hell he's talking about, he's fucking stupid. Fighting is fighting now, and it's been that way for a long time, and it had nothing to do with the West or the East. It is actually a mash of both sides of everything mixed together. So the fact that you, my friend, are the one making, because in that interview, you were the one that came off as a racist, and I mean, or not racist, but just at least I don't even know what that is. That's just ignorant. Anyways, but within the fight, I believe Bradley Scott should have knocked him out. I think before the fight he said he wanted to break his ribs. I don't know if he did. Um, that's not beer, by the way. And so the thing is, a lot of people think that them going out and challenging these traditional martial artists is going to make these traditional martial artists disappear. This is not the case, man. If that's your goal, you need to stop doing that. You're gonna look bad, in my opinion. In this fight, even though Bradley Scott seemed like the superior person because he knew how to use his weight. He knew what to do when somebody tried to do a collar tie on him. He knew how to spin around, pivot around the lead foot when he was trying to get grappled. He knew all the good stuff that you need to know to just be a basic boxer, and that was enough to, to beat Dk Yoo. The thing is, Dk Yoo, he was so bad that I'm wondering how he survived the fight, bro. Like, he should not have survived the fight. Put it that way. Do I think he's gonna lose followers? No. I actually, might start looking at his videos a lot more. I was actually looking at his videos because of this fight, and a lot of his stuff is really good. Like I said, if you're a striker and you want to learn how to be a better striker, you got to look at this guy for sure. It's some really good stuff and really good videos. A lot of the pop and lock stuff I really don't agree with, but because sometimes it just seems like he's just dancing. He's like dancing. But yeah, but aside from that, because that's the thing people fail to do. Cause just because you don't like a guy, he's acting goofy, he's doing some stuff, and you kind of be like, man, fuck this guy. He thinks he's all that. He's a pretty boy. Fuck him. But nah, man, you gotta look past that. And you got people teach. Some people do. Some people do both, and some people just be hating, bro. The castle, the analogy, the castle, sandcastle analogy is like a guy builds a castle. Another guy comes and he says that castle ain't shit. Next day the water will come and it'll drop it, and it won't mean anything. Now the guy who came over and said that, he's saying the truth, but is he right for saying it? No. Sometimes even if something is true, you should keep that shit to yourself because you're gonna come off looking at as a bully. People like to pretend. People have been pretending since forever. I mean, we got professional wrestling, and there's a whole bunch of stuff people still do today. They gather together and they pay to pretend. So you leave these people alone. They're not hurting anybody. I know a lot of you try to, romanticize it and say that they are hurting somebody, but they're really not. They're just being stupid and pretending. And to be honest with you, it's entertaining to me. I like watching it. I like watching stupid people wave their hands around and act like they're doing Dragon Balls, fireballs, and dropping people. It's fun. I want to join. I want to play a little. But I like sparring better and sparring against people that hit back. That's what I like to do. But overall, this was an interesting fight, and I hope nothing but the best for both people, both sides. Fight Bible and Dk Yoo. And I wish to see more fights like this. More YouTubers fighting each other and stuff like that. I'm not that famous, but if anybody wants me, I'm down. So that's it for today. And if you like this, please comment and subscribe.